The White House team at the United Nations Climate Conference in Bonn, Germany does not plan to discuss conditions under which the U.S. might remain in the Paris climate deal, an official said. "We are not going to address that issue. We don't plan to talk about what those options could be," a White House official told reporters on a conference call, noting, "I don't anticipate having delegations approach us and really try to get into that kind of discussion." Why it matters. The U.S. posture means continued uncertainty about President Trump's comments that the country might be willing to remain in the 2015 agreement if the U.S. can secure better conditions. As we reported here, the administration has yet to put meat on the bones of the idea. The official described it as a head-off state-level issue that's beyond what the U.S. plans to tackle at this session of the annual UN talks. What's next? The White House is hosting a meeting at the conference tomorrow to promote more efficient global use of fossil fuels, as well as nuclear power. The goal is a pragmatic discussion of how to address global warming while boosting energy security, economic growth and access to affordable power, a White House official said. The White House official said it's an important topic that would otherwise be largely missing from the discussion in Germany, and highlighted International Energy Agency forecast of long-term growth in global energy demand and projections that fossil fuels will play a central role for decades. "It is burying your head in the sand if you don't have this conversation," the official said. Yes, but the White House faces strong criticism for the refusal of President Trump and some other top administration officials to acknowledge the scientific consensus on human-induced global warming, and for abandoning Obama-era climate policies and rules. Big Picture asked whether reducing global greenhouse gas emissions is a priority for the Trump administration. The official said it's a lesser priority than energy security and economic development, but added that it's still a priority. Note: Axios reporter Amy Harder is in Bonn reporting from the UN Climate Conference. She'll have more on the talks and the U.S. posture in her Harder Line column tomorrow morning. Get it directly in your inbox by signing up here for Generate, our daily newsletter on energy. One question that Brady was less definitive in answering: is there a chance Trump will back the Senate bill over the House version, particularly in light of comments he reportedly made to Senate Democrats? Brady said, "I don't believe he will," adding that he speaks regularly with Trump and the president backs the House plan in a big way. Why it matters. Brady is setting a red line on an issue that will be crucial as the House and Senate try to work out a compromise bill. Andre Balazs, celebrity hotelier John Besh, celebrity chef Sepp Blatter, FIFA WCK Andy Dick, actor Richard Dreyfuss, Gary Gard, producer Mark Halper and Dustin Hoffman, Jeff Hoover, Kentucky House Speaker Denny Masterson, That 70s Show Roy Moore, U.S. Senate candidate in Alabama Lawrence Nassar, former USA Gymnastics Dr. Bill O'Reilly, Michael Oresks, NPR Jeremy Piven, Roy Price, Amazon Studios Brett Ratner, producer Terry Richardson, fashion photographer Chris Savino, Loud House showrunner Robert Scoble, tech blogger Steven Seagal, actor and producer Kevin Spacey, Lockhart Steele, Fox Media editorial director James Chubak, director Kurt Webster, country publicist Harvey Weinstein, Westwick actor Leon Wiesel, TA, former New Republic editor, and many more. President Trump took to Twitter from Asia overnight, addressing the controversy surrounding his meeting with Vladimir Putin, after which he said he believes Putin is telling him the truth over electioning. "One more thing," Trump sarcastically responded after Kim Jong-un called him old, hurling back his own insults. Hannah Allers, 34 Heather Alvarado, 35 Dorian Anderson, 49 Carrie Barnett, 34 Jack Beaton, 54 Steve Berger, 44 Candace Bowers, 40 Denise Bertadis, 50 Sandy Casey, 34 Andrea Castillo, 28 Denise Cohen, 58 Austin Davis, 29 Thomas Day Jr., 54 Christiana Duarte, 22 Stacey Etcheber, 50 Brian Fraser, 39 Carrie Galvan, 41 Dana Gardner, 52 Angela Gomez, 20 Rokio Guillen Rocha, 40 Charleston Hartfield, 34 Chris Hazencombe, 44 Jennifer Topaz Irvine, 42 Teresa Nicole Kimura, 38 Jessica Klemchuk, 34 Carly Krybaum, 33 Rhonda Lerock, 42 Victor Link, 55 Jordan McIldoon, 23 Kelsey Meadows, 28 Callum Marie Medig, 28 James Sonny Melton, 29 Patricia Mestes, 67 Austin Meyer, 24 Adrian Murphy, 35 Rachel Parker, 33 33 Jenny Parks, 36 Carrie Parsons, 31 Lisa Patterson, 46 John Phippen, 56 Melissa Ramirez, 26 Jordan Rivera, 21 Quinton Robbins, 20 Cameron Robinson, 28 Tara Rowe, 34 Lisa Romero Muniz, 48 Chris Roybal, 28 Brett Schwanbeck, 61 Bailey Schweitzer, 20 Laura Shipp, 50 Eric Silva, 21 Susan Smith, 53 Brennan Stewart, 30 Derek Bo Taylor, 56 Nasa Tonks, 46 Michelle Vo, 32 Kurt Bontillo, 55 Bill Wolf, 42 First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. 26 killed during Sunday service on November 5, Keith Allen Braden, 62 Robert Michael Corrigan, 51 Shawnee Louise Corrigan, 51 Emily Garcia D at the hospital, 7 Emily Rose Hill, 11 Gregory Lynn Hill, 13 Megan Gale Hill, 9 Carlin Bright Billy Bob Holcomb unborn Crystal Marie Holcomb pregnant, 36 John Brian Holcomb, 60 Carla Plain Holcomb, 58 Mark Daniel Holcomb, 36 Noah Holcomb, 1 Dennis Neal Johnson Sr., 77 Sarah Johns Johnson, 68 Haley Kruger, 16 Karen Sue Marshall, 56 Robert Scott Marshall, 56 Tara E. McNulty, 33 Annabelle Renee Pomeroy, 14 Ricardo Cardona Rodriguez, 64 Therese Sagan Rodriguez, 66 Brooke Brienne Ward, 5 Joanne Looking Bill Ward, 30 Peggy Lynn Warden, 56 Lula Wojcinski White, 71 President Trump and President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines share a toast at the Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit in Manila. Trump has spoken admiringly of Duterte, despite alleged widespread human rights abuses under his administration. The Philippines is the fifth and final stop on Trump's 12-day tour of Asia. Here are the Defense Department's casualty releases from 2017 Army SPC. Isaiah L. Booker, of Cibolo, Texas, D. January 7 in Jordan, in a non-combat-related incident. Army SPC. John P. Rodriguez, of Hemet, Caliph, D. January 12, in the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility in a non-combat-related incident. Navy Chief Special Warfare Operator William Ryan Owens, 36, of Peoria, Illinois, D. January 29, in the Arabian Peninsula of Yemen, of wounds sustained in a raid against Al-Qaeda. Army PFC. Brian P. Odiorny, 21, of Ware, Mass. D. February 20, in Al-Anbar Province, Iraq, from a non-combat-related incident. Army Sergeant First Class Robert R. Boniface, 34, of San Luis Obispo, Caliph, D. March 19, in Logar Province, Afghanistan, from a non-combat-related incident. Air Force Staff Sergeant Austin Biren, 25, of Umatilla, or D. March 28 in northern Syria in a non-combat-related incident while deployed in support of combat operations. Army Staff Sergeant Mark R. de Helen Carr, 37, of Edgewood, MD, D. April 8 in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, of injuries sustained when his unit came in contact with enemy forces using small arms fired during combat operations. Army Sergeant Joshua P. Rogers, 22, of Bloomington, Ill, D. April 27 in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, as a result of small arms fire while engaged in dismounted operations. Army Sergeant Cameron H. Thomas, 23, of Kettering, Ohio, D. April 27 in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, as a result of small arms fire while engaged in dismounted operations. Army First LT Weston C. Lee, 25, of Bluffton, GA, D. April 29, in Mosul, Iraq, from injuries while conducting security as part of support to partnered forces. Navy Senior Chief Special Warfare Operator Kyle Milliken, 38, of Falmouth, Maine, was killed during an operation against al-Shabaab on May 5 in a remote area approximately 40 miles west of Mogadishu. Army SPC Eddie N. J. Murphy, 22, of Loganville, GA, D. May 26, in Al-Hasaka, Syria, of injuries sustained during a vehicle rollover-related incident. Army Sergeant Eric M. Haupt, 25, of Baltimore, D. June 10 in Pekka Valley, Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, of gunshot wounds. Army Sergeant William M. Bays, 29, of Barstow, Caliph, D. June 10 inches, Pekka Valley, Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, of gunshot wounds. Army Corporal Dylan C. Baldridge, 22, of Youngsville, NC, D. June 10 in Pekka Valley, Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan, of gunshot wounds. Air Force Tech Sergeant David Board, 49, of Barbourville, WVA, August 2 in Kuwait in a non-combat-related incident while deployed in support of combat operations. Army Sergeant Roshan U. Vince Brooks, 30, of Brooklyn, August 13 of wounds sustained while engaged in combat operations in Iraq. Army SPC Alan Levi Stigler Jr., 22, of Arlington, Texas, August 13 of wounds sustained while engaged in combat operations in Iraq. Army GS-12 Daniel Hoadley, 54, of Colorado Springs, August 18 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, from a non-combat-related incident. Army SPC Alexander W. Misialdini, 20, of Tyler, Texas, October 1 in Salahaddin Province, Iraq, as a result of injuries sustained when an improvised explosive device detonated near his convoy. Army Staff Sergeant Brian Black, 35, of Puyallup, Wash, October 4 in an ambush in Niger. Army Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Johnson, 39, of Springboro, Ohio, October 4 in an ambush in Niger. Army Sergeant David T. Johnson, 25, of Miami Gardens, FLA, October 4 following an ambush in Niger. Army Staff Sergeant Dustin Wright, 29, of Lyons, GA, October 4 in an ambush in Niger. Army Chief Warrant Officer Jacob M. Sims, 36, of Juneau, Alaska, October 27 in Logar Province, Afghanistan, as a result of wounds sustained when he was involved in a helicopter crash. Army Sergeant First Class Stephen B. Cribben, 33, of Simi Valley, Caliph, November 4 in Logar Province, Afghanistan as a result of wounds sustained while engaged in combat operations. Other highlights from the report include 82 countries have improved the gender gap and 60 have seen their score decrease. Nordic countries hold the top 3 spots for gender equality. At this rate, the gender gap will be closed in 100 years by 106 countries. The U.S. ranked 23rd in 2006. The study found that 50% of all work women do is unpaid. In the U.S., women only make up 19% of all graduates in the engineering, manufacturing and construction and information and communication technologies fields. Note the Global Gender Gap Report measures the discrepancy between men and women's participation, opportunity and care in each country, but does not take into account the country's overall development compared to other countries. A wealthy nation with more opportunity and resources than others can still rank low on this list due to unequally distributing those resources to men and women. These are the reasons someone cannot legally ship, transport, possess, or receive firearms or ammunition under federal law. Note some states have additional regulations. Felons: anyone who has been convicted of a felony and/or imprisoned for over a year, including a shorter sentence plus probation time, is barred from receiving a firearm. Also, anyone who is awaiting trial on felony charges is prohibited from receiving firearms. Fugitives: the DOJ released a memo in February stating that this does not apply based on the mere existence of an outstanding warrant, and instead applies to someone who has fled the state to avoid prosecution for a crime or to avoid giving testimony about a criminal proceeding, and is subject to a current or imminent criminal prosecution. Domestic abusers: domestic abuse has been repeatedly linked to mass shooters. James Hite, who killed 8 people in Plano, Texas, including his wife, was physically abusive to his wife. The Las Vegas shooter, Stephen Paddock, was remembered for verbally abusing his girlfriend in public. But the New York Times notes that this only legally applies if the person is married to whomever they are abusing, providing a boyfriend loophole. Drug addicts: those addicted to, or unlawful users of marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance are prohibited from having a firearm. According to the ATF's firearms transaction record, use or possession of marijuana is illegal under federal law, despite any legalization for medicinal or recreational purposes in the state of the person seeking a firearm. Those who renounce U.S. citizenship: anyone who wishes to renounce their U.S. citizenship must, according to the State Department, appear in person before a U.S. consular or diplomatic officer in a foreign country or at a U.S. embassy or consulate and sign an oath declaring their renunciation. The mentally ill: anyone who has been committed to a mental institution or adjudicated as a mental defective is barred from buying a gun. receiving a restraining order for stalking anyone subject to a court order restraining the person from harassing, stalking, or threatening an intimate partner or a child of the intimate partner, per the ATF. Those who are dishonorably discharged. Receiving a dishonorable discharge is not the same as receiving a bad conduct discharge. Benjamin Spencer, a reserve officer in the Judge Advocate General's Corps of the U.S. Army, told CBS that a bad conduct discharge is for something at the misdemeanor level, while dishonorable discharge is for a crime at the level of a felony. Non-U.S. citizens, this includes illegal aliens, and aliens law admitted under non-immigrant visas, per the DOJ. However, the ATF shows that someone with a non-immigrant visa may be an exception for things like lawful hunting, or if they are a foreign law enforcement officer traveling to the U.S. on official business. One more thing: transactions and possession of certain kinds of firearms are prohibited by federal law, per the ATF, including the transfer or possession of a machine gun, the manufacture, importation, sale, or possession of firearms undetectable by airport security devices, and owning a firearm unregistered by the National Firearms Act. Note: this story has been updated to more accurately reflect the law as it applies to the mentally ill.